Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Let us try these class exercises. I intend to do it with you. Okay, let me start for you. We do number 1 for a start. Okay, number 1. Definitely we cannot use a simple use substitution or integration by parts. Okay, so let's consider to use trigonometry substitution. Okay, trigonometry substitution is not a simple use substitution. So for a start there, this is wrong. You have to change your x, the x in terms of a trigo. That is the trigo substitution. So which trigo is appropriate? So for that we compare to the format. This is a format of a square minus x square. It looks like format number 1, isn't it? So the trigo substitution that you should consider would be this one, which is a. What is the a? Our a here, as again we compare, a is 3. So start with 3 sine theta. Okay, and then you need to substitute everything in terms of theta. Okay, and along the way, as you substitute, do consider to use some identity. For example, here, just let me give you a clue. You will be needing sine square angle. Okay, let's say theta plus cosine square theta equivalent to 1. You will be needing this as you are simplifying your work. Alright, so after you have got the answer, replace everything back into your x, such that how to replace it back. You have to come it back from there. Sine theta is x on 3. And to get maybe later on for the cosine value, you need to refer back to your definitions of a triangle. If this is a theta, definitions of a sine is opposite on hypotenuse. So meaning for this portion or for this side or the length adjacent, the formula is the c square minus a square square root. Or another way to say 3 square minus x square square root. That is this, the length of this side adjacent to the angle. Alright, okay. So everyone, you're supposed to do it together with me. Okay, let me give you 5 minutes. Pause this video and continue before we are to compare answer. 5 minutes from now. Pause the video. Okay, let us compare. The very first mark will be to your trigo identity that you are supposed to choose. Make sure that you memorize this, or make sure that this is in your notes. And then you are to differentiate. This is a simple derivative. And then you are to substitute everything. Okay, the x is 3 cosine theta d theta, this one. Okay, and you are supposed to factorize. As for this 1 minus sine square theta, you need to change it into cosine square using the Pythagorean identity, such that cosine square square root is actually cosine theta. Okay, so there we get cosine square over sine square. As for the constant, as we simplify it, okay, the radical we can break it up. So this is 3, this is 3, this is 9, we cancel it out. Okay, so we cancel out nicely there. And then we are left with this. This is actually cotangent. Okay, so up to that level. But to integrate the cotangent, we cannot integrate straight away because it is not given in our formula list. So we need to use Pythagorean identity. Look into your formula list. Why so? Because after this, you can only integrate cosecant square. That is why I ask you to print out your formula list so that you are aware on the formula that is given in our formula list. The integral of the cosecant square x dx is negative cotangent, but our variable is theta. And then here integrating 1 d theta, we get theta. So that's the answer in terms of a theta. But our variable here is in terms of the x. So we need to replace the theta as x. So in order to do that, we need to use the identity of the Pythagoras theorem and the definitions of your trigonometry. Sin theta is opposite on hypotenuse. Okay. And then the adjacent side, we use the Pythagoras theorem. 3 square minus x square square root. So you have to have that. Make sure you show it. And then only we are able to read cotangent. Okay, to read cotangent is actually 1 on tangent. And tangent by definition of a trigo is opposite on adjacent. Okay, that's why we need that adjacent. And then cotangent is 1 over tangent, so we flip. So that is the answer for the cotangent theta. As for the theta, we can easily read from here. The theta is inverse sine of this x on 2. So that is our last answer. Make sure you put it back in terms of the x. This is indefinite integral, so it carry a c there. So do check your work whether or not you show all the steps. Okay, all this must be there, starting with the x. Okay, and then here on how to find this side using the Pythagoras theorem, you have to show it. If you do not show it, you will lose mark for the m. And here there's a identity that you are applying. You have to show it before you are able to get to the answer. Again, if your method is 0, you do not show it, we cannot accept your last answer. So this question carry 8 marks. Okay.